Damn, so I learned more about spirituality listening to this pastor one day, and he was explaining in his sermon about spirituality, and it was then when I had an epiphany and I realized that I've had a lot of spiritual experiences, a lot of high vibrational experiences, revelations. I've had a lot of those, and it made me begin, it just opened my mind and my concept to religion and spirituality, and I started to study more and get a better understanding of what it all entailed. And I don't want to get too much in my fucking opinion, but I just feel like religion is definitely man-made based, and you are more serving to man than you are to the creator in which you serve, or the God which you serve. Spirituality is not like that. Spirituality is not witchcraft. Okay. Well, damn, witchcraft is just what it is. It's witchcraft. Voodoo, hoodoo, Santa Maria, whatever, witchcraft is witchcraft. Like, whatever the title is, there's no combination with it. There's no combining it. The title is exactly what it is. There's no combining it. Spirituality is that. It is freedom to acknowledge the spirit in all things, the spirit of the creator. Freedom to acknowledge the spirit in all things. Freedom to understand that every experience that we have some way or another, have something to do with our spiritual evolution. It is the freedom to have a relationship with your creator however you please, without the outline of man-made rules. So some religions say you're not supposed to question God, but spirituality says, why not? Yes, you can. Religion may say pray, spirituality say meditate. And the reason why you meditate is because you're going within to connect within, and your connection within is your connection to go within is a soulful, elevated state in mind, body, and spirit, to be able to directly connect to the God that's without. So the God within is directly now connecting to the God without. That's what meditation is. Religion call it prayer. Religion says, when there's three or more in the midst, I shall appear. If it's three or more in prayer, I shall appear in the midst. Spirituality says, I shall appear because I've been summoned. I've been summoned because you are three in one. You are the Holy Trinity, mind, body, and spirit. When you go into meditation and you connect with me, I have been summoned. Therefore, we will converse. We will have communion. We will have conversation. I will reveal things to you, within meditation. Like, that is what spirituality is. So don't allow, or try not to allow, what the masses have conjured up a false narrative as. I feel like by now you should understand that society has a false narrative, because they trying to make that the new norm. Like, they normalizing a lot of bullshit. You feel me? So the false narratives, just like they trying to make fake the new real. You get me? It's all a part of the fucking false narratives. And so anything that you embark on, make sure you do your proper research. Alright? But 4 years now, and I mean decades, I have had to come to terms, I was forced to acknowledge the God within. I kept denying it because I felt like it was no way I could have that type of power. It was no type of way I could have that type of connection. I couldn't believe it. But when you do your homework, you'll realize that you per se in your human body, you are not a God, but you are directly connected. You don't need a congregation. You don't need to, it's your preference. It's your preference. I don't take that away from you. But I just don't ever want you to feel guilty because you don't ever feel guilty because you didn't go to church, or you can't make it to church, because the church is the body. That's the vessel. That's the vessel that holds your spirit. Okay? So you gotta just do the homework you need to do to understand who you are, who you really are, who you're really connected to. When you start to get a better understanding of those things, your self-awareness heightens. When your self-awareness heightens, you begin to understand more the power that you do withhold, and how, because you are a vessel, because you are directly connected, you know what? I want to make a reference, and I'm trying to get it together in my head. It's a reference that I saw in a movie. And in the movies, right, there's always like good versus evil and shit like that. And there's always this good fucking person that turns evil. And then, the good usually wins when there's a battle between good and evil, because the good turns evil and then uses his powers for the downfall of whatever hurt them. So if it was the downfall of mankind, the downfall of a planet, the evil now wants to destroy mankind. The evil wants to destroy the planet. The evil wants to destroy families because their family was taken away. Whatever the ops is trying to destroy is usually because, the storyline is set up for good versus evil, and good did everything right and done everything right, and they feel like they've been possibly abandoned. Maybe their God abandoned them, or the good feel like doing the right thing doesn't seem rewarding when the evil gets away with everything. All of that shit is like appearance, but it is very highly based on reality, and spirituality is very similar in a context that as long as you keep vibrating high, your connection and your powers to your creator, you will be rewarded with more gifts. To use your gifts for the downfall of anything, person, place, or thing, because you experienced you had a human experience. Let me say that. You had a human experience, a heartbreak or whatever have you, to use your gifts for the downfall of any person, place, or thing, puts you in the negative. It puts you in the red. You have now just set up karma for yourself, and your gifts will begin to be revoked. Because the battle between good and evil is just that, in its similarities. You know right from wrong. You are aware of what needs to be done, but whatever experience you had left you scorned. And so you make a conscious decision to become the total opposite of the reason why you're here. You're here in this human experience to evolve as a human. We all fell from grace, okay? We all, even Satan. Satan fell from fucking grace. That's why he was fucking cast out, okay? Also, the good book say, you know, that's what religion says. Spirituality says, you know, we all fall from grace, but we all can make a decision to learn from the experience and keep evolving into our higher self, our greater self. Because the power that we can obtain, the levels that we can obtain, is going to be unforeseen by any human eye. The only way that you would be able to witness a highly a highly vibrational being is through energy or through your third eye. Because those are the only two indicators that you will have that will be relatable. But those indicators can also detect lower vibrations. And when that shit starts to detect lower vibrations, sometimes those are people that we humanly care about. And we may not necessarily want to acknowledge that for what it is. We may not be ready. But again, if you don't acknowledge it and deal with it accordingly, you are not punished. There's no punishment for that in spirituality. You are not damned to hell. But what you will do is, you will go through an experience that forces you to see the situation, person, place, or thing for what it really is, and then for you to be able to deal with it accordingly. So it's basically voluntary or involuntary. You're going to get that work. Alright, and I just wanted to, you know, to put that out there and help some people understand that, because everybody don't understand it, and there's a lot of people who, once again, feel some type of way about spirituality. They think it's evil, but I'm going to tell you something. Religious, you know, they try to say that it is evil. They try to say some of the tools that we've been given for our ascension is evil. You cannot believe that shit. You know, they try to say prophecy is easy, but they try to say prophecy is evil. But how, when you have prophesizing and prophets in the good book? If we're all children of the Creator, of God, of the universe in which we are, the gifts that have been given to you will not be gifts that will have you descend. Some people have dreams, some people have visions, clairvoyance, clairaudient. You know, some people hear shit, some people know shit, some people intuitive. Like, we have been awarded gifts. And those gifts will keep elevating as long as you are. As long as you're ascending. They go hand in hand. So as long as you keep